and welcome to The German Guy Reviews. I'm the German Guy. Michael Ende doesn't need an introduction. But just to be sure, he was born during one of the darkest times of history, got displaced because of the war, and eventually received a letter by the same government responsible for it all, asking him to defend the home front. But he tore that letter apart due to the fact he wasn't a big fan of the regime, as his father also was an artist whose creations were classified as degenerate. Would you like to participate in your own oppression, pretty please? These experiences were part of the reason why his favorite flavor of storytelling was the fantastical, the escapist, imagining worlds of limitless freedom, where even the laws of nature are bendable. Later in life, he moved to Italy, where he liked the general mannerisms, atmosphere and the people there so much that he created this little story that is trying to grasp at something essential about living in this place. And that special something is time. So if you happen to have some of it, stay for a while and let's take together a look at Momo. We begin the movie with a cameo by the author himself, playing a passenger on a train. A guy walks in and asks him if he likes to hear a story. Well, too bad, he's going to tell it anyway, and he's going to tell it as if it has yet to happen in the future. You see, I am part of a religious cult that believes that time doesn't move forward or even exists. Would you like to hear more?
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville, I needed a new heel for my shoe. So I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they call Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now, to take the ferry cost a nickel, and in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt.
You could say he's going off the rails on a crazy train. Oh boy. We then get a quick introduction to a small Italian village and its citizens, who are very, very Italian. By which I mean, I can't tell if they are having a normal conversation about the weather or if they are close to a fist fight to the death. Oh, so you don't like my bolognese? Fair enough.
Vendetta! 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 Farfalla! Farfalla vendetta! Farfalla vendetta!
Seriously, I think when an Italian gets his hands broken, he is considered having a speech impediment. We meet Beppo the street sweeper, who finds a little girl hiding in a hole in the wall, and takes her in. She is dressed in rags, going by the name Momo. No, she is actually quite the opposite of that. We never really find out where she comes from or who her parents are. The people of the city just assume she must be a runaway orphan. But when you observe what she does in the movie, it's possible that she is a literal angel. She brings mute birds to sing, turns a play session with other kids into the greatest adventure ever, and makes others happy and solves conflicts just with her presence. Alright everyone, as Catholics you know what that means. We have to build lots of Momo statues and the Saint Momo Cathedral. It has to look like as if there's an entirely different religion practiced here. But for every force in the universe, there's an equal opposing force, embodied here in these strange dudes, simply called the Grey Gentlemen. And I have to say, they do look fine here, but in the cartoon adaptation of the early 2000s, they were literally grey. I mean, I guess they went with normal skin because grey paint would have been too much on them. But I mean, you could have done it like the 1984 Apple commercial. Make them look lifeless, hollow on the inside. So, what are they about? Well, we see them in action first time when one of them goes to the local barber, telling him he would like to make a few simple calculations with him. He asks him a couple of questions. How old he is, what he does every day, and makes some very bizarre claims. Basically telling him he's not using his time meaningfully. He spends so and so many hours, minutes, seconds every day on pointless things. Talking to his mother that can't hear so well, going to the bar to meet friends, sleeping. Imagine how much work he could do if he cut back on all of those things. Well, that's what they are here for, he says. He is a representative of the time bank. A deal with them means to save time.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
You know what the sad part is? I can actually buy that if there was somehow a way to reconfigure time and space, it would mainly just be used to generate more profit. And so the people of the town start to become unpleasant and unkind. Always in a hurry, always thinking about how to get more work done and save time. However, Momo counteracts this, which the grey men do not appreciate at all. So one of them is sent to bribe her, bringing her a mountain of perfect little dolls to play with, saying with this many toys she doesn't need to ever go outside or interact with other people ever again. Switch those dolls out for video games and you got a deal. Momo asks why she should ever let go of her friends, why the man would even ask such a thing, and wonders if he has no one that he cares about, and in doing so uses her powers of pure goodness on him, which makes the man of grey give away the whole game. They are not saving people's time, they are stealing it for themselves. They will trick all of mankind, and they will consume and consume and consume until all time and the entire world is theirs. Also, we offer a guaranteed 30 years mortgage deal. Knowing this now, Momo decides to organize a citywide demonstration against the time bank. Surprisingly, none of the adults believe their children when they tell them that demonic bankers have come to take away their freedom. And that is them behaving this way without an internet connection. You know the people who believe there are secret codes hidden in cornflakes? That's them in 30 years. Anyhow, revealing the truth to a little girl has some serious consequences for the grey guy. He is ordered to appear in front of the court of the grey gentleman. It is here that we learn that the grey gentlemen are indeed not even human. They are a parasitic demonic life form that can only exist by leeching off the lifetime of human beings, and if it's taken away, they become smoke and disappear. Which is the punishment for not only failing the mission, but also revealing their secret. And I have to point this out, I love what they are doing with the sound design here. It not only keeps in line with the theme of their appearance as these guys who are constantly chain smoking, but listen to the breathing itself. Normally you would breathe in and out like this. But this breathing is off by half a second, emphasizing how the grey gentlemen are beings that consume time rather than really using it. After the execution, the grey gentlemen decide to take care of this problem once and for all. However, Beppo's street sweeper saw the whole thing and runs to his friend to save her. The full might of the grey man is sent on the city, including this weird surveillance network operated by the men in suits playing life-sized whack-a-mole. I really miss weird Super Mario Party-esque game shows. There are worse ways to spend your Saturday nights. Be that as it may, here is yet another great scene. While all the grey gentlemen are hurrying from location to location, Momo just calmly walks down the street, enjoying every step of the way, and still avoiding her enemies who stress themselves out. It's a great way of visually showing the audience the moral philosophy the story is trying to convey. But more on that later. It then gets weirder. A lot weirder. Momo breaks out of reality through the barrier of existence itself, in glorious 80s fantasy movie greatness. She then meets Master Horror, the Time Lord. Well, not exactly. He says he doesn't actually control time, rather he manages it, making sure each person gets the amount of time they are meant to have. He also shows little Momo what the grey men are really after. A flower that grows inside every heart. No, 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 Tetsu Nomura, no, down, down, down boy. This flower is a manifestation of the combined amount of time every man, woman and child has. When the grey men take it out, they use the leaves to roll their cigarettes with.
Shorty, I know you ain't driving without no papers.
I got papers, blunts, bongs, all the ingredients to make a high nigga pie.
Master Horror then sends Momo to sleep for a year, as the time for the fight is not right yet. After 365 days, the little girl wakes up in a dystopian future. All her friends and the people of the town are now ruled by the Grey Gentleman. Even Beppo's street sweeper made a deal with them, after being told that if he gives them 100,000 hours, they will give her back to him. And this is another tiny but awesome detail. Considering how old Beppo is, there's no way he could ever give them that much time. It's a classical deal with the devil where you can only lose. The Time Bank has accomplished all of its goals. The town, and presumably the entire world, is one big giant grey blob, geared entirely towards the purpose of efficiency. How are they the bad guys?
Steel. Stone. Concrete for miles.
Realizing that all of her allies have been consumed by the system, the Grey Gentlemen tell Momo she is all alone and should finally give up, and lead them to Master Horror so they can access the source where all time is created. Our little hero escapes them, but they follow her. However, there's a barrier surrounding Master Horror's home. A normal person has to go backwards, which makes their entire being go back in time, but when the Gentlemen of Grey try the same trick, they go poof. This is because, as Master Horror explains, the time the Grey Gentlemen have is already dead time. It has already been consumed once. Momo has no idea how she is supposed to fight any of this, an entire army, but then has an idea. What if Master Horror stops time altogether, just for a while? That way, the Grey Men have nothing to steal. The Time Lord thinks this is a great idea, and does as instructed. However, before going to sleep, he tells Momo that he will give her the time flower of her heart, which will allow her to keep moving forward in time, unlike every other person that will be frozen. This will give her a small window of opportunity where she needs to find the door to the vault where the time flowers are stored, and close it. That way, the Grey Men are completely cut off and will simply fade out of existence. The time parasites quickly realize what Master Horror has done and run back to the headquarters, followed by Momo, not knowing how long Master Horror intends to stop time, maybe a few months or thousands of years. They immediately start to employ drastic measures and decrease their numbers. Billionaire Mars colony be like. Momo tries to sneak past them, but just like me, she is very bad at stealth and is discovered. The Grey Gentlemen are good at putting spells on people's minds, but they skip gym class, which is why little Momo is able to take them out one by one, and close the door of the vault for good. And so the story ends with all the people having been freed from tyranny. And all I can say is, this was an awesome time. This was an excellent experience with all the 80s movie magic with a beautiful message. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Which is why, once this review is over, in honor of this film, I'm going to spend the next 12 hours looking at pictures of cheese. Time well spent. The Grey Gentlemen are a perfect metaphor for modernity that divides the world into useful and useless things. A world order that lets us all drown in stuff and noise and forget the little things. As Master Horror tells Momo, the Grey Gentleman can only exist because people allow them to exist. And the movie hammers this home over and over again in tiny show-don't-tell moments. Like for instance, at the start of the movie, we see Beppo cleaning the road that has lots of leaves on it. Later, when the world has been conquered by the Grey Man, he sweeps the street even though it's pretty much still clean. And when I saw this, I hated how much I could relate to this with my own work. It's work for the sake of work, with no higher or meaningful purpose behind it than to increase numbers on a spreadsheet that won't serve anyone, while things like community, kindness, art, faith are all put aside. Yet these are the things that make life actually worth living. The kid that plays Momo is just gold. There's just something so likable about her, and you totally believe she is radiating divine light into this world. She is the perfect foil to the Grey Man. She enjoys every little thing, the sound of birds singing, or just super slowly following a turtle step by step, making the best of every situation. There's a new version of the story which I will get to eventually, but from what I saw, it will go in a more goofy and wacky kids movie direction and less atmospheric and philosophical. There is a very old story about a poor fisherman and a rich man. The rich man walks up to the fisherman and says, "Why are you so content with only catching enough fish to get by every day and spend the rest of your time lying in the sun? If you would just work a little bit harder, you could afford another boat, and then another, and another. Eventually, you would have your very own fleet, and you could afford a big yacht." And then? The fisherman wonders. "Then," says the rich man, "you could lie in the sun." And then the fisherman replies, "What is it that I'm doing now?"